Hi, this is Professor Nance. I'm here to clarify kind of three things around the reading logs for this class. Number one, the purpose. Number two, where the content should be coming from. And number three, what I'm looking for when I grade. So first up, what is the purpose of the reading logs? And the reading logs are designed really to get you engaged with the material in our class. Full stop, this course is a lot about teaching you the terminology and the language of business, as well as the main functions and also the main theories within the business field. So the reading logs are really to get you to get your hands dirty with the content and to really start regurgitating the content in your own mind and in your own terms. Where should you be getting this content from? And the only place you should be getting your reading log content from is from the textbook. Not from the notes online and not from the lecture slides online. Solely focus on the textbook and use that as your guide to create the main notes, the page numbers from the text, and then your own self-reflection questions on the right to try to relate your personal life to the content in each chapter. Third thing is grading. What am I looking for when I grade your reading logs? And there are a few things that I keep an eye out for. First, the left-hand column, do you have all of your page numbers for the different types of content or areas of content that you put notes for? Those need to be clearly delineated on the left-hand side of your reading log. There's a special column just from that. Those page numbers should reflect from the book. The second is I'm looking at your main note content area. It should be short, sweet, to the point. You should be covering like main definitions or core theories and kind of just highlights, quick notes, highlighting each one so that you could look at it and understand what it meant from the book. And that should really cover the breadth of the chapter. So the content at the beginning of the chapter to the end content of the chapter. On the right-hand side in the reflections column, I'm looking for you to ask questions or make statements that relate your personal life to some of the content in business. A lot of people have had experience, especially at the consumer level, within business, and many of you may have had work experience. So you can relate if we're talking about motivational theories in chapter 8. Are there some things at work that you can think about different types of motivation that others have or that you have and write it in the reflections? The reflections right-hand column should be less content clearly than what's in the center main column of your notes, but you do need to have a couple touch points there to relate the content to your personal life and help it stick in your memory. Lastly, on the back page, the last half is your summary. This should be a full narrative, so kind of in full sentences it's like telling a story and taking a bird's eye view at all that detailed content you just reviewed and took notes of, and a bird's eye view of this is what the chapter is about, covering all sorts of different areas of the chapter, all the areas of the chapter, and so that it makes sense. I could easily understand what you're saying. You're not so fluffy that you don't touch on a lot of the details, but you're not so detailed that you're writing an essay about it. I'm really looking for a good, strong couple of paragraphs, and a paragraph is more than just one or two sentences. So really something that I can quickly read and say boom, 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 boom. You've gotten these areas. If it's so general that I couldn't tell which chapter it was from, you're not going to get credit. Pretty simple. So those are the three things I want to clarify today about reading logs. Number one, the general purpose to get you attached to the content and getting your hands dirty. Number two, you should be getting the content only from your textbook, not from any resources online in our class or otherwise. And number three, what I'm looking at when I grade your reading logs. If you have any questions, please do get a hold of me. This video actually came out because one of your classmates had some very good questions about the reading logs, and I was quite surprised, and I'm happy to hear that. So I want to share and clarify some items around there.